Linuwel is an independent Steiner school in East Maitland, New South Wales. As part of sport, lifestyle and recreation, Year 11 students are asked to examine barriers to participation in sport and recreation and design ways that communities could help people overcome them.
Okay, so we know that sport and rec is an important part of a healthy lifestyle, and you guys have chosen to look at disability as a barrier. Why disability?
Well, I don't really know anything about it.
My neighbour works for a disability service, that's what made me think of it.
Wait, are we just talking about like physical disabilities?
Good question.
Well, no, it can include psychological conditions too, can't it?
Yeah, it can.
But someone with ADHD wouldn't have the same barriers as someone who's blind.
That's true. It's not straightforward at all.
A disability is any condition of the body or mind that makes it more difficult for the person to do certain activities. The main categories of disability are physical, sensory, psychiatric, neurological and cognitive, intellectual and developmental.
I mean, we're talking about people and the things they can't do, and it feels just kind of wrong.
Yeah, and language is really important too, because when you talk about mental health casually, it's kind of like you don't even know how that feels.
Good point.
Like things like OCD is still used as a joke, you know? Like my pencils have to be in remote order. I'm so OCD. I have OCD, and that just undermines how hard it actually is.
So, do you think you have a disability?
Well, no, I've never really thought of it like that. It's not like I can't do sport or other stuff. It's not like some extreme cases where people can't leave their house, you know?
Well, it's the same for me because I have social anxiety, but I don't really put a lot of it as a disability.
So maybe not everyone that has an ongoing condition experiences it as a barrier to participation?
Well, I have autism and it's my superpower, but I don't mind it being called a disability because it lets people know that I'm not neurotypical, and owning that has given me a kind of freedom.
Yeah, like my brother. He fully knows his turbocharged brain is a superpower, but before he was diagnosed, he was just a naughty kid.
So does focusing on what a person can't do defines a disability, but it's actually what a person can do that we have to focus on for inclusion?
She said depression is like trying to start a car with no fuel.
He said OCD was like a faucet dripping over and over again, and you're completely driven by fear.
She said anxiety feels like rolling in a ball down a hill until you just collapse in on yourself.
Said ADHD was like being a wind-up toy with a 10-track mind, and the people around you either keep up or bail out.
They said
It's isolating.
isolating.
A lot of people with lived experience object to the term disability to describe their experience. We should be clear that the word disability is being used to describe life barriers rather than the person.
So offering a chance to socially connect through sports and outdoor activities.
Didn't Headspace have an indoor soccer team a couple of years back?
Yeah, like that.
I saw this thing how exercise can help with depression, and some counsellors do walk and talk sessions where they get exercise and counselling at the same time.
So less pressure, more connection.
I like the idea of someone being involved, like a safe person.
Don't they do a surfing thing for mental health in Newcastle?
Yeah, ways of wellness. I saw them the other day.
It's not much for young people, more for men too.
So we're thinking something for people like us that's physically active and gives them a chance to connect with others.
That friends can be involved in too, so everyone has a safe person there.
And there has to be enough variety so people can focus on what they can do. So like Levi could run a volleyball team and Dylan could take people on walks.
There is no greater disability in society than the inability to see a person as more.
This project didn't just teach me about disability.
It taught me about inclusion.
About empathy.
About hidden superpowers.
About my friends.
It wasn't just about focusing on ability to promote inclusion.
It was about focusing on everyone's ability to make a difference.